with Kuberg Motorcycles.
And tell us a bit about Kuberg Motorcycles.
Well, Kuberg is a Czech Republic company. The bikes are designed and constructed in the Czech Republic. We distribute them out of Santa Cruz, California. Really, Kuberg is just the best way for a kid to learn how to ride a motorcycle. Once you see it in action, you'll understand why. I mean, there's basically no maintenance on the motorcycle, but you know, because of the fact that it's silent, you know, a kid can ride pretty much anywhere.
True. No noise pollution, complaints from the neighbors and whatnot.
Exactly. That's the problem. You know, there's been a lot of kids who've got. There's not as many kids that ride motorcycles as there used to be in the past, and how can you blame them? There's no place for them to ride.
Sure.
They can't, you know, a lot of their parents do not want to pack up, drive for 2 to 3 hours to get to the nearest place to ride. So that's been a real issue. So we think that, you know, we're going to bring more kids back to motorcycling, and once you see the bikes in action, you'll understand why. You can turn the power down on the little bikes, so when they first start out, they can't get into trouble. You know,
gotcha.
they'll pin the throttle and it'll just barely move, but they still can learn the throttle control. You know,
right?
And they've learned all the basics of motorcycling: braking, balance, and throttle control. And as they progress in skill, you turn the power up to the point where it'll ride wheelies. I mean, it's powerful. People, you know, once they see it in action, they understand that it's not a toy. You know, it's a serious motorcycle, a serious performance. You know, you put a typical kid on a little mini motocross track. You have the power turned all the way up. They'll be quicker on this bike than they will on a little 50. It's quicker in most respects than a little 50 gas-powered motorcycle.
And that's where your focus is you know, mostly the kid-sized bike?
That's correct. That's at the moment, though. Just because, you know, we're getting started in some of the larger bikes. You can see our concept bike here, the 20-inch bike. This is a free ride style. So this is basically, you can kind of view it as a cross between, you know, a trail bike and a motocross bike. And so it'll appeal to a wide section of people. So this is really designed for teenagers, but adults can ride it too.
It looks like fun, actually.
It's very, very fun.
And it looks like you're getting serious too with the larger version over there.
Yes, we are getting very serious with our electric trials bike, adult trials bike. That bike is just flat out amazing. I mean, it's you know, go about 3 hours on a charge. It has a clutch, you know, so you can cut the power, do trials maneuvers when you're trying to get over logs and boulders. You can snap the clutch to hop over logs, and so there's the beauty of it compared to a gas trials bike is there is absolutely no noise other than the chain slapping around a little bit. So you can ride it anywhere. I was just here in the show riding it last night. So
very good.
Yeah, so it's a really promising future. I think that you'll see, you know, that large electric motorcycles are getting more prevalent. You'll see
they are.
You'll start to see them, and the technology is really growing in leaps and bounds very, very quickly. And you know, it's not to say that electric is to replace gas bikes. I mean, I love gas bikes. I race motorcycles, and you know, for me, it's not going to replace it. But I'm a rider first, and you know, if it means we can ride more, then I'm all for electric. Because when you get on it, you realize how much fun these bikes really are.
3 hours is a long time too. Yeah. What about the smaller bikes? You know,
these bikes over here, the smallest ones, is generally about 2-hour runtime for a kid.
That's pretty good.
Yes.
I'd be tired after I rode about 30 minutes off-road or something like that.
Your typical kid will ride for maybe 45 minutes, maybe 1 hour, so it's only halfway discharged by then.
And how long does it take to charge them back up typically?
If it's totally dead, it takes about 5 to 6 hours on the small bikes.
That's not bad.
But you know, like I said, most kids will ride for half that time, so it's halfway discharged.
Right.
You know, so really, when you're talking about kids, the runtime is kind of a non-issue for the most part. There are some other kids that have tons of energy that'll ride all day. And actually, we have seen some kids ride all day because if you turn the power down to where it's basically a crawl, it's barely using it.
Sure.
It just depends on how much. So 2 hours is an average. So when I ride this bike as a pit bike, and I do ride this as a pit bike at 215 pounds, it goes about an hour on a charge for me.
Okay.
So you can, obviously it's meant for kids, but it'll definitely carry you around.
Very good. Well, thanks for talking to us today.
Absolutely.